So today we're going to talk a little bit about cord cutting. We're going to talk about what this is, we're going to talk about why you need it, we're going to talk about how you do it, right? Because I feel like a lot of people actually need to be doing this that don't know how, right? Or they're having things happen to them as a result of cords being placed in them, and they don't know, they don't understand that that's why they're having these experiences or feeling these different types of energy. So I really want to do this to try to help you guys today if this is something that you are experiencing or that's happening to you, right? Okay, so let's talk first about like what cords are and how do you know like if you have a cord, right? So cords are energetic cords that get attached to you over time through for different reasons. A lot of times they come from people that we are in close relationships with, right? Because there's the people that we spend a lot of time with. So when you spend time with people, your energy fields will kind of mesh a little bit. And sometimes you can form, subconscious attachments to each other. Now, there are also the type of cords that people will actually physically, purposely attach to you, right? I've seen this before with a lot of times people who aren't willing to let people go, or sometimes too for magical reasons, people will attach cords for reasons of kind of control, right? Or manipulation. So these are all different reasons why you could have a cord attached to you. The most common thing that I really see with the cord attachment is in relationships, and particularly when somebody has broken up with another person, because this is somebody that you are intimate with, sometimes perhaps someone you're even living with, and so your energy fields are pretty well meshed, and you tend to form cords and attachments with people like this because of the types of relationships. Now, it does happen sometimes too in friendships and working relationships, different things, but this is one of the main ones I see, and one of the main areas where I see people having problems, because when you are done breaking up with somebody, sometimes you're thinking about them, or you're still having problems getting over them, and sometimes this is because there's cords that are still attached to you. So this kind of leads us to our next question. So when would you want to check in, and when would you want to do cord cutting? Well, anytime you need to make separations between you and another individual, whether it is a relationship that has ended, whether it is a friendship that is no longer working. Sometimes too, people have really yucky work environments, right? Sometimes people are catty or mean, or just their energies or their egos are too big, and it's just a bad situation. And when you get out of that space, or sometimes even if you have to work there and you come home, you might want to kind of clean yourself off and check in with those cords, because what's happening is your energy vibration is getting attached to that energy vibration, and it's coming across those cords and hitting you. And this is not something that we want to kind of hold on to, especially if these are relationships and situations where we're trying to separate ourselves from. So cord cutting is good to do in these particular situations. Now, if you are kind of thinking about somebody a lot, or you're kind of like feeling kind of bad or guilty, or just weird kind of things that you don't normally feel, that could be the result of a cord attachment also too, especially if you've been having issues with a certain person. Sometimes their vibrations get sent to you intentionally or unintentionally, depending on how the cording has taken place, and so you are picking up on all of those things because you guys are connected, right? So you want to break that connection, which is why you would do cord cutting. Now, the last kind of question on this, or the issue becomes, okay, well, I don't know anything about magic. I'm not good at meditation. I don't know. How would you even do this? Do I need a professional? Like, what do you do? Okay. Well, first of all, if you know somebody, right, spiritual, that is able to cut cords and things like that, you can always ask for help. I've done this before on clients and friends and different things. And so if you need help, please call me. I always do, though, try to encourage people to do it themselves, because I always feel like it has more power and more meaning if it comes from you. And also, too, it's a really empowering feeling to know that you can protect yourself and take care of yourself and shove back, energies and take your power back when you need it, right? So if you are wanting to try this yourself, it's not as hard as it seems, but you just kind of need to be able to kind of relax and be able to kind of visualize, so that you can kind of take a look kind of in your mind's eye and see what's happening with you, because everyone will have cords in different places. Now, if you know where the chakras are, sometimes cords will attach to certain chakras, especially in like relationship cases or friendship cases or family member cases, because they're kind of matters of the heart. These are people we're emotionally attached to. We love them, or, we have strong feelings for them, right? So sometimes you might notice a cord in that area, but they can be in other areas as well. So the first thing I usually do will kind of be to scan the chakras. If you're doing this, I would say definitely start from like a meditative space. If you don't know how to do that, just sit back in a chair or your couch or wherever. Make sure you're not, if you can lay down if you want, but don't do it if you think you're going to fall asleep, because I know sometimes people will do that and that's not going to help you guys out. So make sure you're kind of sitting with both feet on the floor. Don't cross any of your limbs, so the energy kind of comes through really nice. And before you start, I would ground. This can be as simple as sending out kind of tree roots from the base of your spine and the bottoms of your feet into the earth, right? Because before you do any sort of work, you want to make sure you're in a neutral, solid position and you're very grounded. If you have other more intricate grounding techniques or anything else that feels better for you, I encourage you to use that. You've got to use what feels comfortable and what really makes you feel like your butt's kind of like grounded and kind of sitting in the ground. Once you feel like you're in that place, you're able to go in and check for the chords, right? So the way that you check for the chords is with your eyes closed, kind of reach out with your mind's eye. If you're not very well versed in meditation, it's sort of like your imagination, but not really. You're not the one controlling the pictures. You're just kind of looking and seeing kind of what comes up for you. And what I want you to do is I want you to do like a body scan, right? So however that feels good to you, to look at your physical body in your mind's eye. If you want to project your body out and kind of see it in front of you and kind of scan it that way. If you want to kind of just look down and kind of see if there's anything attached to you. However it is that feels good, because the most important thing is you want to find where stuff is stuck. Right? Okay, so scan your whole body, see if anything is stuck, and you'll know. It'll be like a blob of something. Sometimes it's an actual cord that you can see. The cord can take many different shapes. It doesn't have to be one particular way. I've seen anything from ropes and chains to very delicate necklace chains, to very strong tree roots, to big like machine things with claws on them. Like, I've seen all sorts of stuff. There's no wrong way to see a cord. The only thing is that you need to be able to see it, period, right? So when you see it, your first task is that you want to remove it. And you want to remove it in a way that works and feels good to you. Some people might want to just grab and like pop that thing out. Some people, might take some big garden shears and just snap it. Maybe you want to like kung fu karate chop it off. Whatever feels good. You know what I mean? This is your cord and your meditation and your removal. So you have to do it in a way that feels good to you, and in a way where your intent and your feeling really makes you feel like that cord is being severed and it's being removed and separated from your being. Some will be more difficult to remove than others. Sometimes you might need to go back for a couple of sessions because maybe it comes out, maybe it comes back in again when you check in. Maybe you only get it halfway out. And at other times too, certain cords might not be ready to be removed. This is usually a case of something that you're not ready to let go of yet, right? Like a cord or a relationship or an attachment that you're not ready to let go of yet. So you hang on to that, right? So if that's the case, that's fine. Do it when you're ready, but make sure that you do remove it when the time is right. Now, once that cord comes off, the other thing that's really important for you is to, fill that space up with something and soothe that space, because it's probably going to look a little raw, or there might be a hole, or there might be something, right? So make sure you kind of nurture and care that space and fill it up with some good energy or something positive, right? Because everything, like nothing like really exists in a vacuum, right? So if you're removing one thing, you've got to put something in its place. So if you're removing something that's not good, put something good in there. So if you want to just put a ball of like white or blue healing light in that area or over that area, if you feel intuitively like it needs something else, then feel free to do that, right? Maybe you just want to, in your mind's eye, place your hands over that and just fill it with just loving kindness, right? And just really positive healing energy. Whatever it is, just make sure you fill that space up, right? And after that, just make sure everything looks and feels good to you, and then slowly come out of that meditation in that space. Now, like I said, this might be something, especially if there's stronger chords, that you might need to go in a couple times and try, or even something if it's a little bit difficult for you because you're not used to it, it might take a little bit. But please don't give up. Please keep working, because it really does work, and you should notice yourself feeling a little bit better. When you're done, make sure you do something to take really good care of yourself, because sometimes cutting off that energy or taking that many things out can really kind of bring your energy down for a little bit before it refreshes itself. So I hope that's been really helpful. I hope you guys are motivated to try this if it's something that you think would be really helpful for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and have an absolutely beautiful day.